again, right here, when we're going to be going around these items, we don't want to be jammed up right up on the corners, because over the years the vibration dig a little hole through your brake line. So we're going to go around these items. Okay, so in the front we'll need a tee-off, and that's what this right here is. You kind of want to map out where you want to put that. I think I'm going to go about right here on mine. So now what we'll do is we've got all this established. We'll run a line to the left, run a line to the right, and we'll be all set. Now, so that I get my proper length, I'm actually going to screw this into my flexible line, put it through my welded on tab, and then measure off for my tee. You got to remember that your tee joins in about a couple of millimeters in, and you need a couple of millimeters to mushroom the head. So we'll go about a quarter inch up, and we'll cut her there. So we've got our brake lines all set where we want them. Now what we want to do is we want to leash them down. I just like to get these right here. They're inexpensive. It's got the rubber end, and then I get a self-tapping screw. Simply put them where I want them, and then screw them down. And when you drill it in, don't drill it all the way, or it can bind all this up. Drill it in most of the way, and then do it the rest of the way by hand. Okay, so you can see we got a leash down, and we'll leash it down underneath and all the way back to the rear. And now we'll take all this back off, clean up the frame one last time, do a little sanding on the firewall, and paint everybody. Now, a couple of handy hints is that if you go more of a diagonal when you've got corners like this, it's a little bit better for you. If you went with a 90-degree angle and then you found out it was a little too long, a little too short, what have you, then you'd have to get another piece and bend it all over again. But if you go at a diagonal like this and it turns out that it's a little too short or too long, you can simply move the diagonal out or move the diagonal in, and that'll give you a little bit extra leeway in your job. Okay, we've got our hard lines attached to our wheel cylinders. Everybody's bolted up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bleed the master cylinder. This is probably one of the more important things you'll be doing. Most of the time when you get a problem in your brake lines because the master cylinder was not properly bled. And don't forget to replace this seal, otherwise cold air comes up through the hole of your brake pedal. Okay, now what we're going to do is known as bench bleeding the master cylinder. Typically when you've got low pedal problems and spongy brakes, it'll come from this procedure not being done correctly. So make sure that you do it correctly. First thing we're going to do is take these little lines off right here and attach these plastic hoses right here. So one end of the hose will connect this here, which will hook onto your master cylinder, and then at the other end we've got the pointies, and the pointies will stick right into the hole there as such, and then we'll put this end into the top of the master cylinder, fill it up, and pump the brakes until we don't see any air bubbles in the hose. Now to get your brake fluid into your master cylinder, a nice easy trick is you take a hose like this, you punch a hole through the top, and then what you can do is squeeze the bottle and it'll fill up your master cylinder. So here you can see your air bubbles going in and out of your lines. So just keep punching that pedal until all those air bubbles go away. It'll take a little while. So after your fluid's running clear like this, no air bubbles at all, we'll take these little ends out, drain it into the master cylinder, and hook our ends back up. So now we'll install our remote reservoir kit that I hope that you picked up, because it's kind of a drag to climb underneath your car to find out if your brake fluid's high or low. So this right here, you'll be able to put a remote reservoir where it's easy to get a hold of and easy to fill. Now your kit comes with enough hose to be able to place the remote reservoir in several different spots. Of course, I always like to do something a little bit custom, so what I've done is I've cut off about 8 or 10 inches right here. We screwed our brass fittings in and tightened them down. You don't necessarily really need to use hose clamps here. I'm just doing it just out of added paranoia. And now what we're going to do is go ahead and climb underneath the truck and clamp this into place. Now don't forget to use the specific gasket that came with the kit. Do not use your old gasket. You know what I want to do is I want to mount this reservoir right here so it's easy accessed. So what I'll do is just simply make a simple little bracket for this. I've gone out and gotten some 3/8 brake line or fuel line, same thing, and we'll go ahead and bend this up, and this will give us a good look. Setting up right here, it'll be nice and strong, and